They're one of the world's most famous families. They can play, they can sing, they can write hit songs, and it probably doesn't hurt that they look like this. Recently, we flew all the way to Gay Paris with an exclusive backstage pass to hang out with the Corrs as they prepared for their sell-out European tour. We find out why the band waited 4 years before releasing their 4th album, Borrowed Heaven.
Before the break, we were no longer sort of truly getting and appreciating how lucky we were.
And how have these siblings survived spending so much time together?
One Christmas day, we just erupted, all of us fighting. And I just remember Mammy, standing going, like, what has happened here?
Jim also talks a little too candidly about dealing with too many chicks on tour.
Well, you've heard about the whole notion of synchronisation and what gets synchronised. That time I kind of run a mile.
And Sharon tells us how the rich and famous get a date.
I mean, they literally have to go and get the guy and go, OK, let's go out.
Is that how you got your husband then?
I did. I grabbed him, yeah.
The band also talks about dealing with the unexpected loss of their mother.
Does it somehow bring you all closer together?
Yeah, definitely, because you sort of really understand how fragile life is and how short it can be for people.
This is your backstage pass to get up close with the Corrs in the city of romance.
Okay, so I think that's French for rolling.
Right.
Yes, okay. It's the same in Australian, actually. God, it's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
What we remember so much is the very beginning when we first went over to Australia and the actual album was doing really, really well and we were on the TV. It was quite strange for us because it was the very beginning of our career. It was shocking. I remember we were in a cable car going up into the rainforest or whatever and you know when the cable car like stops, there are people looking in going, there's the Corrs.
The Corrs released their debut #1 album, Forgiven Not Forgotten, in 1996. It sold 6 million albums around the world and over 1 million in Australia alone.
Before you became a band and became so successful, what did you think it was going to be like to be this world-famous band, and how is it different to what you thought it was going to be?
Luckily, I think, when you're young and you go into, being in a band, you're quite naive about it because you don't have an idea about what it's like to be really signed to a record label and what happens. You think, oh, I'm going to be out there and I'm going to be playing music. And, of course, that's what you do, but there's an awful lot more involved than just playing gigs. There's the whole sort of record company roller coaster thing that you sort of step onto. This is the right time. We had no idea about promotion, had absolutely no idea about what happens and basically, there was one stage like we did 5 continents in 3 weeks.
There was just crazy schedules and we were doing promotion that really you'd see like a tiny benefit from. You know what it's all about. Everybody has to do it when they're starting out.
Yeah, like Horse and Hound feature magazine.
Exactly. Crocheting Weekly.
Do we?
Yeah.
Do we have to do wheat and barley on this album?
This is the
I mean, did you want to be famous? Was that, were you all as ambitious as each other starting out? Like, we want world domination. We want everyone to know who we are.
Not famous, no. We wanted our music to get out there. Fame wasn't an impetus at all. In fact, it is the one thing that is very, very difficult about it. Of course, there's nice things to it. You get into restaurants when you want, and there's some good things to it. But fame kind of is not what people think it is. You know what I mean? It can make you feel very self-conscious. It certainly doesn't make you feel wonderful and beautiful. It can make you feel like you're constantly in a goldfish bowl.
As the band released their 2nd and 3rd albums, their collective sales soared to over 30 million. Now a worldwide success, the Corrs discovered that living in that fishbowl can come at a price, especially when you're single.
I think a lot of the lyrics that I've written in the past, I wasn't really seeing anybody,
and that was quite for years. That would go on, and in a way, it can make you feel like you're quite strange, especially because the press would kind of keep at it, and you know, Andrea, you know, why I can't find a man or something, to be like headlines.
Can't be good for your morale, though, right?
Or you're set up with people, and even if you're, you know, going on a date with somebody, or just, you know, trying to get to know somebody, you know, then they have things in the papers like, fingers crossed, friends say, could be wedding. So you're almost breaking it off with somebody before you go out.
It's only when I sleep, I see you in my dream.
Now, are you a person that develops crushes really easily?
I think I've got a good fantasy kind of land that I have, so things can, like in the past when I was younger, very much so become even bigger. It'd be like, you know, I'm probably very romantic, and in that way, I suppose I have the same, you know, everybody
Like
goes through their stuff, yeah.
But people think if you're famous and beautiful and you've got a lot of money and you're in a band, that those things don't happen. Do you get a sense?
For guys more so. I do. I really think guys have a great time in bands because they just, you know, they can just, they can be very free about it. I think as
What
women.
is that?
Well, I think when you're in this sort of business, you're kind of catapulted into something that they think, oh, that's untouchable.
I never really loved you anyway. No, I didn't love you anyway.
They're just terrified to come up to you, so you never really get to meet them, you know, that's the thing.
And then what happens, I guess, is that you tend to, well, hang out with people who are in the same position as you, and...
Well, you often go where you're comfortable. Like after a gig, you don't really want to be... You want to stop the entertaining, you know what I mean? And you want to be with people who won't demand that of you, and that's generally the people who are in it. So you're there with the, you know, the band.
I've read so many women, you know, who are successful or famous saying the same thing, like, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow or whatever, going, I mean, they literally have to go and get the guy and go, okay, let's go out, because otherwise they just won't approach them, you know, so...
Is that how you got your husband then?
I did, I grabbed him, yeah. Yeah.
This is a lesson to women everywhere.
Coming up.
I mean, the girls know they're never going to compete with me. Never compete with me on a looks level.